And the farmers were saying that they thought that the black people would be looking for jobs to work on their farms. Now, you got to be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees? And being a farm worker ain't even in the jobs categories that we be looking for. They really don't know how educated some of us are. They don't know how many degrees a lot of us have. They got to be really lost if they think that we want to come and work on their farms.
I want to make a particular appeal today to MAGA Americans. I really don't believe that what is happening in our country now is something that you want. But I understand that it's not a natural act for us to admit that we believed lies and that we acted upon them and that we allowed those lies to shape our being and our personhood and our identity.
At some point, a motherfucker has to suffer for making the mistakes that they made, don't they? How are they ever going to learn their fucking lesson if they were like, oh, well, you know, hey, I burned down the country with my vote, but ooh, that's
You're
okay.
someone who is thinking about leaving MAGA, or maybe you have already left MAGA. Listen up. Keep watching, because there's something I need you all to understand. If that's not you, you can keep scrolling. The other day, I saw a girl come on here on TikTok and say that she messed up and that she's sorry and she regrets what she did. She listed out reasons for why she kept voting the way that she did, and now she regrets it. And one can only assume that it's because it eventually, the passing of the bill probably affected her. She said she was a single mom. So one can only assume. And while this is great that she went out on a public platform to apologize and recognize where she fell short, what got me, or what frustrated me, was at the end of the video, she was saying, if people are coming at me with hate in the comments, well, then you're just a part of the problem, because we all have to be on the same page. And while I understand this sentiment, right, like at the end of the day, we do have to be a united front, but here's the issue with that statement or that reasoning. The way that MAGA has voted is actively causing harm and irreversible damage. The time to say we need to be a united front and own up to your mistakes was after the first time that he got voted in. At this point, it's too little, too late. So to expect the people whose families are being torn apart, whose businesses are falling apart, whose healthcare is getting taken away from them, any level of support, to expect those people to forgive you despite the fact that people are going to lose their lives there's no if, ands, or buts about that. People are going to lose their lives. So to expect people to forgive you despite this fact, it is centering your own comfort, and it's not actually doing the work of reconciliation. Because here's the thing, you have broken the trust of the people around you. And in order for us to be unified, you have to earn back that trust. And that's not going to come with a simple, I'm sorry, I messed up. It has to follow. What has to follow is continued effort, support, unlearning, and accepting the fact that there's going to be people who don't forgive you. And that has to be okay with you. You can't let that, the unforgiveness that people hold towards you, or the resentment that people hold towards you, you cannot let that keep you from continuing to do the work of unlearning and changing your mindset and growing and doing better when no one's watching. That has to continue, whether or not people approve of you or applaud you for owning up to your mistakes. So yes, own up to it, apologize. That's the first step. But it doesn't stop there. You have to continue to do the work despite how uncomfortable it might be, and despite how much continued anger and resentment people might still hold towards you. And you can disagree with me all you want, but at the end of the day, we can't unite unless we know that you're not someone who's going to turn around and do the same things all over again.
So Trump supporters that have flipped don't get a pass from me. And I know that's not a popular opinion. A lot of people want to forgive and forget. I see all sorts of fuck around and find out videos being posted where people are explaining how they found out and they're being embraced, and now they want to have open dialogue with everybody. So while I respect people that want to embrace them, and I'm not going to give you a hard time, I am not one of those fucking people. Because every single one of those fuck around and find out videos where people are converting and leaving MAGA has to do with them personally feeling the results of their vote. In other words, until it affected them personally, they were ready to vote for Trump. You see where I'm going here? Zero empathy for people around them unless it affected them. Yeah, so they can just eat a dick. Where's the accountability? At some point, a motherfucker has to suffer for making the mistakes that they made, don't they? How are they ever going to learn their fucking lesson if they were like, oh, well, you know, hey, I burned down the country with my vote, but, oh, that's okay. Man, fuck you. There's this one farm dude out there posting all sorts of shit and getting a lot of traction, right? Because he found out, he signed up for some big federal program that he wanted to participate in. And in order to do that, he had to invest and spend all sorts of money to get his farm ready to do whatever the fuck they wanted him to do. And then Trump goes and rips this shit out from under him. And now he's like, what the fuck? Right? I voted for Trump. I didn't know. The thing is right now he wants to have open dialogue with people. And when people come to him and say, well, you should have known, he's like, well, I'm out in the country. We don't see the news. And anytime I saw social media, which I never do, all I see is right saying left and left saying right and everyone arguing. How am I supposed to know? I'm a farmer. I'm not a political scientist. But then out the other side of his mouth, now he wants to have an open dialogue. So he criticizes anyone questioning his fucking decision, but he wants to have an open dialogue now. Anybody that wants to talk about this and what it really means, let's have that chat. But if all you're going to do is attack me, you can move on. Motherfucker, fuck you. Because the only reason now you give a shit and now you want to have open dialogue is because it affects you personally. You could have fucking had all this open dialogue before you fucking cast your vote like an idiot. And you only give a shit because you were affected. The whole fucking current country is burning around you. Marginalized people are being attacked. And we're supposed to give a fuck about you because you were affected in your fucking farm? No, you vote for Trump? Fuck you. We don't need your ass. Personally, I'm going after the 88 million people that didn't vote. And I'm rallying the troops around the fucking common enemy that is that. Now in the future, after you've repented and maybe spent the fucking next 10 years groveling, asking for forgiveness and doing everything you can to support marginalized communities, maybe then we'll think about forgiving your stupid ass. In the meantime,
so y'all remember when it was said that we taking all the black jobs? They really thought that we was gonna be looking for black jobs, y'all. And I woke up this morning, I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this guy made a video and I saved it to my favorite so you can go look for it. And he said he was pretending to be MAGA on one of those other apps. He said they were doing a live and the farmers were saying that they thought that the black people would be looking for jobs to work on their farms. Now you gotta be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees? And being a farm worker ain't even in the jobs categories that we be looking for. They really don't know how educated some of us are. They don't know how many degrees a lot of us have. They got to be really lost if they think that we want to come and work on their farms. They don't know that our parents and our grandparents growing up wouldn't even let us be outside if it wasn't no shade outside. Do they really think that we gonna work on a farm where ain't no shade trees at? I hate to disappoint y'all, baby, but you're gonna have to get somebody else to do it. Because we ain't working on nobody's farm. Never. The only way you're going to see black people working on a farm is if they own the farm. Because we not working on nobody's farm as no workers. So I hate to disappoint y'all. If y'all thought those was black jobs that black people looking for, honey, you better think again. Because black folks that I know got good jobs. We've had a black president, we had a black vice president, we got black senators, we got black congressmen, we got black CEOs, we got black doctors, we got black nurses, we got black psychiatrists, we got a lot of good black jobs. Now, I don't know what y'all thought we was going to be farm workers for. We don't even want to work in the fast food industry. Those jobs, we don't want those kind of jobs. So, I hate to disappoint you MAGA people, but we don't do farm work. So get somebody else to do it. I'll like, share, comment, and repost. Drop in the comments y'all education and y'all good black jobs, because they don't think we got good black jobs out here. So we need to let them see it.
What do you mean you didn't know? I am being so sincere right now because I truly want to understand how it is possible that in this day and age where we have access to any piece of information that we want in our hands, and we have 40 years of history that we can look back on for this individual, where a scenario exists that you legitimately wouldn't know. There have been dozens of women who have made allegations of SA that span 4 decades. There's video, pictures, audio, testimonies, flight logs. He has been held accountable in court for one of those essays. Where's the confusion? This is also an individual that has a history of conning people, not paying people. He's been in court hundreds of times over the last 4 decades. And I think he's lost about 92% of these lawsuits because he, in fact, does scam and cheat people. He has been found guilty of fraud in a court of law on 30, however many counts. Where's the confusion? Why are you not connecting that all of those things that span 40 years are the same exact person that is now in the White House right now? Where's the disconnect? And beyond that, where was the confusion about his policies? He told you what he was going to do. There's a 900-page manifesto. I know he said that, no, I don't know anything about that. But before the election, I asked, what is the difference between the policies that he's presenting and he's owning up to and the policies in Project 2025? I never got an answer because they were in fact the same. What he was saying out loud as the policies that he wanted to implement was what was in Project 2025. Yet we were told, no, that's not the case. How did you not know? I want to understand.
I know there is so much hate right now, and rightfully so. There's so much hate, there's so much anger, and I'm constantly seeing people that are leaving MAGA because they didn't realize what they voted for. And I know everyone says, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, it was there, but that cult logic, it runs deep. So I'm not going to sit here and say, we told you so. I'm going to say, okay, now that you see the light, what are we going to do to fix this?